The old shelter on the edge of town was filled with the usual mix of barks, whimpers, and sighs, the sounds of souls waiting for someone to see them. In the farthest corner, behind a heavy iron gate, lay a giant dog named Titan. He weighed over 200 kilograms, a mountain of muscle and fur that seemed more like a bear than a dog. Yet, despite his frightening size, Titan had the gentlest eyes you could imagine, deep amber pools that reflected both kindness and loneliness. People who came to the shelter always stopped in front of his cage. Some gasped, some laughed nervously, others simply shook their heads. "He's too big. Who could take care of something like that? He'd destroy the house in a day." No one noticed how Titan would wag his tail ever so slightly each time someone approached, a hopeful, trembling movement that stopped when they walked away. He'd been brought in years ago after his owner, an elderly man, passed away. Since then, Titan had watched hundreds of dogs come and go, each finding their home, each leaving him behind. Yet he never barked, never growled, never lost his faith. Every morning, he would lift his head when he heard footsteps, hoping today might be different. Days turned to months. His fur began to gray around the muzzle, and his once powerful legs trembled when he stood. The staff loved him, but they all whispered the same thing: no one will take a dog like that. Then, one quiet morning, the doorbell rang. A girl stood in the entrance, no older than 20, wearing a faded green jacket soaked from the rain. Her hair stuck to her face, and her shoes squelched with every step. "I saw him online," she said softly. "The big one. Titan." The shelter worker hesitated. "He's huge. Are you sure you know what you're asking for?" The girl nodded. "Yes. I know exactly what I'm asking for." When she entered Titan's pen, he didn't move at first, just watched her, his eyes cautious but hopeful. She crouched down and whispered, "Hey, big guy, it's okay." Something in her voice, gentle, tired, but warm, made him stand up slowly. His massive head lowered to her level, and he sniffed her hand. She didn't flinch. She smiled. For the first time in years, Titan pressed his forehead against a human's shoulder. The staff didn't understand. Why this dog? Why now? But as the paperwork was signed, she finally explained. "My dad used to have a dog like him," she said. "Big, gentle, and everyone was scared of him too. When Dad died, I promised I'd take care of one like him someday. I think this is him." That evening, as the shelter staff stood at the gate, Titan climbed into the girl's old van. The girl reached out and said, "Come on, let's go home." And for the first time in years, Titan wagged his tail, not a small, uncertain twitch, but a full, joyful wave that shook the van as they drove away into the rain.